Hello guys, welcome to Apple Questions Explained. And as you might be knowing and seeing in the ads, tomorrow is WWDC at 10:30 p.m. IST. So I thought, why not make a video about what all the rumors are saying about what is going to occur in WWDC. So we're going to look at the overview and the product announcements and a detailed explanation of what is going to happen in WWDC. Stay tuned to find out, and also please subscribe so that you can watch more content, many unanswered questions as well as comparisons regarding Apple. So without any further ado, let's start. So what is the WWDC 2023 overview? So this is Apple's 34th Worldwide Developers Conference, which stands for WWDC, and it will take place in the week of June 5th to June 9th of 2023, beginning with a keynote event that is set to take place at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time on Monday on June 5th. As with the 2022 conference, the WWDC 2023 will be an online event. Although select developers, students and members of the media have been invited to Apple Park on June 5th to watch the keynote and State of the Union presentation and meet with other attendees and Apple employees. And historically, the WWDC tickets have been priced at $1,599 for the in-person event. But the WWDC has been free for all developers since 2020. Since in 2020, there was COVID, and from then on, it's an all online format, and that continues in 2023. With Apple charging nothing, even for those who come to visit Apple Park. And with WWDC, Apple offers developers a first glimpse of the new iOS, iPadOS, macOS, watchOS, and tvOS updates, plus the opportunity to engage with Apple's engineers through engineering sessions, one-on-one lab appointments, and Apple's developer forums. Students are also invited to participate in the annual Swift Student Challenge to win prizes and a chance to visit Apple Park. To launch the Worldwide Developers Conference each year, Apple holds a keynote event to introduce software and occasionally new hardware. We are expecting iOS 17, iPadOS 17, macOS 14, tvOS 17, and watchOS 10. Plus, rumors suggest that Apple will use this event to unveil the long-rumored AR/VR headset. That is the augmented reality and virtual reality headset. Apple will stream the event on apple.com, the Apple Developer app, and the Apple Developer website, the Apple TV, and live in YouTube. Now, how to watch the WWDC keynote event? The keynote event will be held on Monday, June 5th at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time, as mentioned earlier. And we have a guide that provides us details on when that is in multiple time zones around the world. For example, in India, it is 10:30 p.m. in the night in June 5th for you to see the WWDC event live on YouTube. So, and Apple provides several ways to watch the keynote event. You can view it on Apple Events website through the Apple TV app or through the Apple Developer app. With the Apple Developer app and the Apple TV app, there are options to watch with friends using a share play feature. Both the Apple Developer app and the Apple TV app are available on the Mac, iPhone, and the Apple TV, with the Apple TV app also accessible on other set-top boxes and smart television kits. And there will be easiest way to watch the keynote event through YouTube live stream. And next up, I know this is what many of you have come to watch this video for, are the expected hardware events. Hardware was never a sure thing at WWDC until 2017 when Apple unveiled the iMac Pro in 2017 WWDC. And these days, there are years where Apple focuses entirely on software. In 2022, we saw the unveiling of the 13-inch MacBook Pro and the redesigned MacBook Air. And in 2023, in this year, we are expecting at least one hardware product announcement. We'll look at the various products. The first is the AR/VR headset. So Apple will show off a long rumored AR/VR headset at WWDC, according to rumors. And the WWDC debut will give developers time to design the apps and experiences for the device ahead of a launch later in the year. Apple has been hinting the headset announcement by teasing the dawn of a new era and the opportunity for developers to code new worlds. We have highlighted some of the main AR and VR headset features below, and we will look at each of the features of the AR/VR headset. So first feature is it has both augmented and virtual reality capabilities as suggested by the name, with an option to switch modes with digital crown-like control knob like in the Apple Watch, and there will also be an external battery pack worn at the waist. So that's very good because your AR/VR headset also needs battery. And the third point is it's a lightweight, comfortable design with Apple Watch like band and mesh against the face. And the fourth point is the option for prescription lenses. And the fifth feature is it contains 4K micro OLED displays. And the fifth point is, and the most important is, it will use the powerful Apple Silicon chips, the same chip used in the Mac. And it will feature its own operating system, which will be called XROS, with dedicated app store, unique FaceTime experience, and the option to run iPhone and iPad apps. That is, of course, because it is running Apple Silicon. And now the next feature is it has a gesture-based control method with no physical controller, and it has a dozen plus cameras that can read facial expressions, detect body movements, and map the surrounding areas. Now the last feature is it uses iris scanning for authentication. It is not like Face ID because it scans the iris for authentication. And the next thing is the 15-inch MacBook Air. Apple will introduce the new MacBooks at WWDC. And this is especially important because if you wanted something cheap, like in the M1, M2 standard chipsets, you had only the 13-inch MacBook Air and MacBook Pro. But there are people who need a larger screen, but they don't want to go to the M1 Pro and M1 Max. The M1 is quite enough for them, but they need a high screen real estate. So the 15-inch MacBook Air is very, very suitable for them. It's like the bird's knees. And Mark Gurman, according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, who's a very, very accurate person, he says that Apple is working on a larger 15-inch MacBook Air and an updated 13-inch MacBook Air, and also there will be 13-inch MacBook Pro, which I think is highly unlikely because when you have the 15-inch MacBook Air, why would you continue the 13-inch MacBook Pro? It's like, an odd thing in the middle. And the lineup sounds more good when you have two screen sizes for either category, like 13-inch MacBook Air, 15-inch MacBook Air, and also 14-inch MacBook Pro, 16-inch MacBook Pro. The lineup is more organized with the 15-inch MacBook Air. So I see it mostly unlikely for Apple to unveil a new 13-inch MacBook Pro. And the next is the Mac Studio. But I think it is going to be the Mac Pro. In addition to the new 15-inch MacBook Air, it looks like the company is Apple, the company is gearing up to launch the refreshed version of the Mac Studio. But I think Apple are not yet ready with what I've told in my previous video about Mac Pro and what rumors suggest about its future. Apple are not ready with the M2 Ultra. M2 Ultra Max, like it's the next level to the M Ultra series, which they're going to fit in the Mac Pro. But now, as of now, the Mac Pro is not there. And basically, Apple is not ready with that extreme chipset. So they're going to use the M2 Ultra chips in the redesigned Mac Pro. this year, most probably. And that's all about the hardware announcements. We have three. We have the 15-inch MacBook Air as well as a refreshed 13-inch MacBook Air. And also we will be having an AR VR headset and a Mac Pro or a Mac Studio, which is not yet confirmed. And now we will jump into the expected software announcements. And the iOS 17. The iOS 17 won't be an update where we'll get a major feature overhaul like the iOS 16's lock screen. But according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, it will have some of the most requested features that iPhone users have been hoping for. The first feature is Smart Display. Lock screen option when the phone is in horizontal orientation and locked. The second feature is dedicated journaling app for tracking and recording daily activities and thoughts. The third feature is updated control center interface. The fourth is more functionality for dynamic island. The next feature is more interactive widgets. And the next is search improvements. Like, in the search bar, we search for different apps. So that search bar will have more improvements in iOS 17. And the next is health app to expand to the iPad. So that's another feature. And the health app will also include a new mood tracking functionality, asking users about their day and tallying up the results over time. And it will also have health features for tracking vision changes. The next feature is minor lock screen updates such as font size tweaks and the option to share lock screen designs. Apple Music lock screen interface to possibly gain support for lyrics. And the next is manual adjustment options for app library folders. And the next feature is the more streamlined and intuitive wallet app. And the next is the Find My app will have more improvements. And for side-loading apps in Europe, there is going to be support from iOS 17. Now, the next thing we are going to be exploring is the watchOS 10. We aren't getting any notable updates to the Apple Watch hardware this year, but the changes are coming in watchOS 10. This could be one of the bigger Apple watchOS updates that we have had in the recent years, with Bloomberg's Mark Gurman describing it as fairly extensive. A new widget system will make it easier to get to the key information on an Apple Watch without the need to open an app. And widgets will also be scrollable and will allow glances at activity tracking, weather, calendar appointments, and more. Buttons like the digital crown could be more customizable, with users able to choose to have a press open up the widgets interface rather than the home screen. So basically, the buttons like the digital crown could be more customizable, with users having the ability to choose between whether they have to go to the widgets interface rather than the home screen when they press the digital crown. And the last and the final big notable changes are Apple could overhaul the Apple Watch home screen in some way, offering a more intuitive layout than the app grid. Now the other updates are, we are also expecting tvOS 17 and macOS 14, but no details have been leaked about these updates as of yet. And Apple is also going to debut XROS, as I've talked about earlier, the operating system that runs on the headset, AR VR headset, when the headset is introduced. And I also want to put a caution that these are not confirmed. These are just rumors that we know about tomorrow's event, and these are not fully confirmed. And also guys, thanks for watching till the end. Hope you enjoyed the video and understood what are the rumors that are going to come out in WWDC, what is going to occur in WWDC. And please subscribe so that you can watch more content, many unanswered questions, as well as comparisons regarding Apple. And I'll meet you in the next video.